Alright guys, welcome back to my channel. I would say as a huge disclaimer for this event, this is not newbie friendly, and because of the advanced stages. Now, do take note that after this event, the furnitures will be permanent, except for one item, which is the Adventure Surprise Box. Because the only way that you can obtain this is to finish the advanced innovation. So, uh, if you're newbie, and as much as possible, like try your best to get like this side of the mission and not the advanced innovation, okay? Because the minimum deck requirement that I would say is around 180,000. So in a sense, it's some sort like a end game content for veterans, okay? I don't know why MiHoYo set the bar so high on this event, but okay, sure. Since furniture doesn't really add anything to your account except for aesthetics, then it's nothing that much to be anxious about, or yeah, except maybe like you'll see like there's a hole in your furniture house, but it's not like you go to your lounge every day, right? So yeah, anyways, for those who are after the whole set of furnitures, okay, take note that you have to grind this stages every day, okay, and you need to spend at least 100 S chips for the refresh, because it is part in your task over here that you need to do 30 stages. So 30 times, and you get 3 tries a day, so technically 10 rounds, right? But you only have like 6 days left, and today's like the third or fourth day, somewhere there. So yeah, towards the end, or like last few days, you might need to use like 1 to 2 rounds of S chips just to get all the blueprints. Plus, at the same time, it's also part of this one, Enchanting Whispers task. This one, okay? Complete 15 times, which means like 5 days you have to do it. So yeah, there's that. Now, next, uh, don't forget that before you spend S chips, if in case that you're lacking wood, do take note that if you have deco voucher, home deco voucher, you can just exchange it for lumber. Okay, so for example, you're lacking 100, you can just convert it just like that. Okay, don't spend too many S chips on furnitures. It's not that worth in my opinion. But yeah, check your vouchers first, okay? Pretty sure when you're doing your gacha or in the recent event of Bakeron, you would have exchanged some vouchers over there. Plus your Hoyo Lab login will get you a little bit of those vouchers as well. So as much as possible, like just exchange it first before you build your furnitures, okay? Now, yeah, that's more or less about it for the furniture part. Now, next, let's go for the main one, which is advanced innovation. Now, if you're a newbie, okay, I would suggest to just try your best to go through all of these stages, at least to challenge 5, because the mission here, task, okay, just to get more wood for your furniture, is to defeat 5 opponents, okay? So that means you just need to finish challenge 1 to 5, okay? Now the rest of it are just like extra cheese, just like in Genshin, like all those extra hard challenges just gives you EXP for your weapons, right? And then it's just like the cherry on top would be the furniture, right? Now for this blueprint, since it will be in the permanent, you can choose not to try too hard in the advanced stage. But then at the same time, throughout the whole time of the event, you have around a week or so, right? So a week, you're given 3 chances. Now I cannot show you here in my screen because I've already done all the challenges, okay? And holy shit, it's kind of hard, not gonna lie. Okay, so every day, the way it works is basically, uh, you beat the boss. Like you have 3 chances to beat a boss, any boss, okay? But after you beat it once, whether you win or you lose, your cards will be on cooldown. Those are only the cards in the main deck. Now, they'll be on cooldown until the next reset of login. So here, example, 4 o'clock is your reset time. Then that's the time you can use your cards again in your main deck. So, the strategy, if you haven't beat everybody, the strategy is to use your weaker deck before your stronger deck. What do I mean by that? So, for example, my deck is this one, okay? definitely me not showing my full SSR deck, but yes. For example, this is my strongest deck, okay? And then there's I think a challenge for starting from challenge 4 down to challenge 6. High percent that you cannot finish it in one round, okay? So what you do, you start with your weaker deck, which is for example this one, okay? This is my weaker deck because it's 180,000 versus a while ago it's 194,000, something like that, okay? So you start with your weaker deck so that the cards on cooldown will go to the support deck for your stronger cards, okay? Because the cards in the stronger deck will not be affected by the cooldown. They can still be used, like the cards in cooldown can still be used in the support. So in a sense, you're like swapping the positions of your support deck and your primary deck, okay? I cannot demo again because I've already finished this one, okay? Now, next part I will teach you how to do the strong all these debates actually, okay? So I will immediately jump to the last one, which is the upstairs owner, because this guy is like the most painful shit ever, and at the same time you have a task here to complete this guy. Yeah, defeat this guy in only 2 rounds, okay? Note that all of these gold tasks you can choose to like you try your best to all here, right? All of these stages, and then once you're done, you can choose to bully them again without worrying about the cooldown. So that's the time where you try different strategies to finish the mission. So one of the missions would be hold off this guy for 25 rounds. So that one you can choose to lose and like just stall. Basically the mission there is to just stall, okay? I have a video of that one and I'll put that link in the description. Okay, it's super easy. You just need at least one card with defense. That's it. It's okay if you lose because the challenge is basically you survive. So as long as your HP is above 0, then that's fine. That's counted. Okay, this one. In single debate against furniture shop, hold off for 25 rounds. That's what it meant. Okay, now it's a bit confusing because it says here defeat 2 rounds while the other one's 25 rounds. So this one would mean 25 turns, not 25 rounds. Because rounds is like you finishing the whole debate, whether you win or lose. That's what you call a round. A turn is inside the debate where you slap the card. That's one turn. Okay? Just to clarify for people who are confused about the mission. Okay? Now, let's go to the debate part. Because, oh my god. Now, again, as what I've said, your minimum requirement deck would be 180k. I've tried 150 to 160. It's super difficult. It's not doable. I was able to do it in like 3 rounds. It has to be 3 rounds. Cannot be 2. So, yeah. If you're able to beat challenge 1 to 5 in 2 rounds, this one is like twice as hard. Like, even I've seen people with 200k deck, it needs them 2 rounds. It's impossible for 1 round. Unless you're some Omega Kraken whale with like basically like C6R5 account in Genshin equivalent. Okay? So yeah. Anyways, your deck composition, again, rule of thumb, stick to one guy as much as possible. Don't go harem route. Please do your harem somewhere else, not in this debate. Okay? Next, try to memorize which card is your preemptive strike card. So as a head start, anniversary cards and 4 SSR cards starting from anniversary are preemptive strike cards. So Bakeron, Kufeng, those are preemptive strike cards. Skadi, Lost Gold, and Secret of the Tomb cards, which is the Egyptian theme, are not preemptive strike cards, even though there are 4 SSR event cards. Okay, so I'll show you example. Look, this one is Secret of the Tomb card. Okay, but it has buff skill. Okay, something like that. And then meanwhile, this one is first anniversary. It has preemptive strike. Okay, I think from anniversary onwards it will always be preemptive strike, but I could be wrong. Okay, anyways, always have at least one preemptive strike card. If you do not have, then that's fine. You don't have to force yourself. But another way to do it is you get your MR card. Okay, because some MR cards already have preemptive strike card. For example, that would be the collab MR that we had recently. This one's preemptive strike card. the big head, this one, yeah, there. Big head is also preemptive strike card. Okay. So yeah, those are like some of the examples. The other examples would be SR cards, which is like the sports series, as I would name it, because it's each of the guys doing sports. Yeah. So for example, this one, Vince SR card is preemptive strike card. You can choose to do that, like everything is SSR and then 1 to 2 SR cards or MR. That is totally fine as long as they are full star, because only a full star SR or MR can stand head to head with an SR card, SSR card. Okay. So my example would be Luke's Timely Rescue. That is like one of the best examples, because Luke Timely Rescue skill is so good. Okay, you can see here 7,268 as a SSR, which is higher than my Artem's atmospherics, and this is the skill level. Okay, maybe skill level affects because of the passives, but it's, you know, it's quite minimal. But yeah. Okay, next, get 3 buff cards per element. Okay, so for example, in my empathy, I have 2 preemptive strike cards, which is Kufeng and RRG, and then these 3 are my buff cards. But take note that make sure your buff cards should include at least 1 rainbow buff. What do I mean by that? So for example, Lost Gold. Look, is empathy up, right? Second birthday of Luke is layer by layer, which is a rainbow skill. Okay, something like that. Because the first 2 waves of every single boss is always colored. The last one is null. You can choose to lose the debate as much as possible at the second wave. More than half of the second wave as much as possible. Okay, I will explain later why. But yes, try to beat wave 1 using at most 3 cards per box. So that's around 9 turns already, because you're given 25 turns only. So if you're gonna divide that by 7, that's approximately 3 to 4 cards per debate box. But it is really impossible for the last one, unless again if you're some Omega Kraken whale, which is impossible. Okay, now try to have a balanced deck, as in like 5 of each element. Okay, against, because it's colored wave. Okay, now I've simulate, of course, try to just stop auto build for all the support. Okay, I'm just going to simulate that it's a low level deck, because my usual deck is 194. So I will simulate at 180. Let's go. Okay, step 1, do not auto. Do not auto, because if I auto, high chance is they're going to start with your preemptive strike card, because that is your strongest card in terms of influence. That's what auto normally does. So I would say manual, because we're gonna learn to stack some buff. Okay, now second, if you can see the icon, you can see which one's rainbow buff and which one's not rainbow buff. This means preemptive strike if there's no arrow up. If there is arrow up and but the lips is rainbow, or if it's shield because you choose a death down card, it's the same logic. Okay, it means that's a rainbow buff. If it's not color rainbow, this means it's a colored buff. Okay, now second, take a look which one has more buffs in your deck. So for example, I have Artem Atmospherics, I have Luke, this Halloween SR. Okay, so since both of them are rainbow, you can choose to do either. Okay, now also try to familiarize yourself with the skills. Okay, so which one's 3 turn, which one's 2 turn. It's not like a requirement, but like it would help a little bit. Okay, now I will start with Atmospherics, because I know that's 3 turns. You can choose to change the box midway just to stack the rainbow buff, because for now my roster is all rainbow buff, well, mostly rainbow buff. Okay, so next I will go with Luke SR, and then I have 2 choices, either Luke Scuddy, which is green buff, or red buff. Since this is rainbow buff, it will buff all types of elements. Now since I have 2 preemptive strike cards, that is empathy, it's better if I go with the empathy route, right? So I will tap the green box and go with this one. Okay, now which preemptive strike card do I use first? It depends because normally preemptive strike cards more or less have like the same level. But if it's the exception would be second anniversary, because second anniversary all three skills are very nice, and it boosts a lot more on the attack than the defense. Then go for second anniversary SSR. Okay, in my case I will go with RRG because it has 2 stars, so automatically it will have higher influence points. So go for the preemptive strike that has higher influence points first before the other one. That way it will help you beat it faster. Okay. Now since I have remaining empathy buff, I will still use the Kufeng. Okay. Now we have 1 box down. It took a little bit longer because it's like 5 turns, right? But yeah, this is normal. Okay, don't panic. It's normal. Okay. Next, again, choose the one with more buffs. So I will start with SR. Okay, if we're stacking buff, start with the weakest one and the longest turn one. That way the buff will carry over to the next card and it will be like an ascending damage. Okay, so first is SR, next we'll go to SSR. Now since we don't have any other buff anymore, you can go with the preemptive strike. It's a bit painful, I know. Okay, next we go with intuition. Now, here's a little bit crazy move. Since you have intuition here, and you have like 1 empathy card here. So you can use empathy versus empathy. That way it will be neutral damage and not like weakening damage. Okay, as you can see over here. Since I have looked SSR with rainbow buff, I can choose to do this so that I can have a rainbow buff. But this one, the buff is quite high, like 35%. So you can choose to either use look card rainbow or just do preemptive strike. I'll do preemptive strike first. Yes. And then you do the buff. Okay? That way you have buff for the next wave. Yeah. Okay. Let's go. Okay, again, let's do it. So you have 1 empathy and 1 intuition. But 1 is rainbow. I know that look birthday card is 2 turns, while intuition is also 2 turns. So which one do you start? You start with rainbow buff because there's a possibility that your next card could be a different element or matching element. So it's better to go with rainbow first than colored, in my opinion. Okay, different element. Okay. Now since you only have intuition and this is logic, so just print to strike it. Wow, this sucks. This RNG sucks. Okay, nice. Right. Now, since you have 2 turns here, 3 turns here, you can choose to do a preemptive strike. But you can choose to quote unquote extend the buff by stacking another buff. That way you have 3 buffs now. Okay, so sometimes it's good to have 2 turns and 3 turns buff so that you can prolong the buff. Okay, so yeah, in this case I have this. Oops, don't auto. I just auto it for fun. Haha. Don't be like me. Okay. Now, since we're at wave 2 and we have 1 turn left, which means we're bound to lose. That is completely normal. Okay, don't panic. Now, when you're around 5 turns left, when you're around 5 turns left, as much as possible, try to focus on 1 debate box or at least 1 element. Why? Because the next wave is null element. So it would help us filter out 1 element out of our main deck. Okay? That way, the passive skills of your cards will be more evenly spread out to your other cards. Okay? So for example, we have logic and intuition. No more empathy box, right? So that means in case if we lose right then and there, okay, we can focus on building 2 elements instead of 3. That would help in the damage as well. Okay, so let's end it with this. Okay, damn, that's so sad. Okay, so we know that we're left with 1 logic and 1 intuition, right? So that means we need to build intuition and empathy deck. Okay. Uh, mm. It could be different in the case that you're not able to do it because you have 3 elements left. Just stick to the same deck and do it again. Okay, that's completely fine. Okay, the point is you have to finish it in two rounds, and if you think that more or less this deck can do it and it can whittle down more than half of the HP, then more or less you can do it for the next half. Okay, it's a little bit harder for the next half because the wave 2 is really tanky. Okay, so yeah, again we have 1 logic and 1 intuition. So we build intuition first. That way we could remember. So again, I use the same cards. Then just bring a little bit more of intuition because yeah. And then the other one is empathy. Okay. I think this is the card I brought. Where's that card? Yeah. Okay, see, as you can see, versus this one, okay, there's 3 elements. Now, we're only focused on 2, right? So, since we only have 1 logic, we can add 1 more empathy instead. Or 1 more intuition. It depends. It's up to you. I'll add 1 more this. Okay. And then, for the sake of the guide, I will lessen my support. Yeah. Oops. Let's increase a bit. Yeah, there. 180,000. That way it'll be even. Alright, let's go. Again, don't auto yet because we're not yet done. Until it's like the last few parts in the third way. That's the time you can auto. But for now you can't. Alright, for now I will. Okay, since our HP is really low and you have some rainbow buff, I will do the crazy thing, and that is I will use empathy card on a logic deck. Okay, on a logic box. Okay, I will use this one for so that it will have at least some buff. Okay, just make sure you're confident enough to break it. Like literally like 1% HP left. Then yeah, do it. Otherwise, don't do what I do. Okay. Alright, text. Same thing. Stack it again. Preemptive strike. Okay, now since we have all intuition, well, I think that's a no-brainer. Okay. Now we stack. Okay. Just keep stacking buffs. That's the main objective. Okay. Mm-hmm. I should have started with look first. Oh shit. Okay. My bad. But yes. Let's go. Copium. Okay, 3 buffs. Nice. Let's do this. Oh, damn. And end it. Bam. And we're done. 2 rounds. Oh my god, my brain cells. Okay, next. Yeah, it's more or less how to do it. Oof, my brain cells. Okay, I think the other question someone would ask would be how to do 50,000 damage. Now, that one, again, you can choose to lose. So, you can just pick any stage to bully. My recommendation would be either 4 or 5. And then since you have colored in wave 1, that will already help you with the multiplier. And then just put like 5 cards of the same element. And then just stack the buff to preemptive strike. It's really like you can use all colored buff as much as possible. Because I'll show you. It's a good example. Like colored buff. Okay. Highest one is 25%. Okay. Then we go to colored buff. what's a color buff gives you 35%. So yeah, 10% difference makes quite a lot, especially if you're trying to go for that preemptive strike thing. So yeah, that's about it. Oh my god, I'm sorry I cannot lower the deck level because this one's really hard. Like look at that 200k deck power recommendation. So yeah, that's about it. Hope this video helps you in how to beat this upstairs owner and like how to get the furniture set. So yeah, until then, I'll see you in the next video. Bye.